discussing topics at the 2023 Franchise Conference. On the 26th of October, we have James Noble, who is the head of wholesale, retail and franchising at Absa Bank. Tell us, James, why is Absa investing heavily in franchising and in particularly the franchise survey?
Thanks, Romany. We, as Absa, have been involved with the franchise industry for, I would like to say more than 30 years. Myself, I've been here for the last 27 years. So basically my whole banking career I've dedicated to the franchise industry in some way or another. So franchising as an industry is very important to Absa. I think I would like to, let's call it an industry within the trade sector that stimulates the economy, that stimulates entrepreneurship, and that also contributes to employment. And I think employment in South Africa is a big challenge, and that is something that we need to give a lot more focus than we actually currently do. So from that perspective, it's very important for the bank. And I can remember even when I started 27 years ago that we were always involved in sponsoring the survey. And I think it's very important that you have that information and that knowledge of what is happening in the industry, what are the trends. I remember starting off when there were just over 100, 200 franchise brands, and now that has escalated to more than 800 brands, and it can be more. I remember starting off where there were only just over 10,000 franchisees in the industry, and that number has increased to over 45,000. So I think if you look at the growth that has happened over the last 30 years or so, it's important not only for Absa, but I think for all banks to be involved in the franchise industry. And they see the growth, and then obviously everyone wants to take part if there's growth happening. I think what is important for me in this survey coming out now is that we can get a much better understanding of what happened in business before COVID, and obviously what happened now post-COVID. Because besides COVID, there were other challenges that the franchise industry and the broader economy were facing. I think of the cost of operating a business increased significantly. I've been attending quite a lot of franchisor conferences over the last 2 weeks or so. And one of the big concerns is that everyone is complaining about operating margins and the impact of that on the profitability of business. Where before maybe it made sense to have one franchise business, you might now need to have 2 or 3 to maybe make the same profit than what you made 10, 15 years ago. So I think it's very important to stay close to that detail. And that's why we as Absa, we invest quite a lot of money into the franchise industry to be at the forefront, to have that, let's say, better insight of what's happening in the industry, and so that we can also tailor-made products to take to market and solutions to take to market. So everyone will think when you think about bank that it's just a lending proposition that we offer, but it goes far beyond lending. There's other financial solutions that goes hand in hand with the lending, like your transactional banking, the electronic banking, your cash and merchant solutions linked to that transactional banking. And especially if you look at the costs and how the costs increased when it comes to cash and merchant services and providing those services from a banking perspective. We also trying to find solutions to offer that to market cheaper, because normally when you look at the expenses line or on the financials of any business, you will notice that the bank charges actually increase year on year. So therefore, I think it's very important to stay close to the detail and for us to understand, and therefore the investment in this survey.